That's easy.
So is this like you're giving away one, or if we got 30, you're giving away 30?
Well, it's just however many deals you have that
So
close
if I
with
got,
us. So
if
you
all
have,
of us got 30,
yeah,
you're giving out 30,
30.
or whatever it is.
Yeah.
All right, cool, cool.
Like 30 to the agent and the client?
just to the client.
Oh, well then,
So now you're not gonna give us business because you want a Blackstone bro.
if my clients know what's good for them, they'll just hand it over.
If he's closing 30 deals, he could buy his own
I
box.
know. Daniel doesn't love us.
Whatever.
I knew
I love
it.
all of you.
I knew it this whole time.
Anything else?
Nope, that's
Any mortgage
everything.
updates?
No, not at the moment, but
Staying strong,
Just-
right at 10%.
what?
What was, what were the mortgage rates last time?
I'd have to look and see.
Oh.
I just wanted to come announce this because I thought it was exciting.
Are they 7 or lower, or 7 or higher?
Lower.
Depending on your credit. It all depends on, it's all different.
Then we
Yeah.
can buy them down.
Bill,
It's getting, he's getting good.
he's doing this on purpose because he knows.
Can we buy them down a lot, or we just, like, if they're at 7,
To
if I could buy them down to like 5?
Yep.
What's something like that cost?
I don't know, we have to talk to Todd about that.
Also depends.
I'm just let's go to Topgolf and have fun.
You're gonna send that to us so we can email,
Yes.
or you're gonna email it to them?
Yeah. So this is on our Facebook, but I can give it to Lacey just so that way you guys can put it on your guys'
What time is it?
stuff, at noon,
Noon?
the Topgolf,
All day?
just.
No, at noon.
Just for that minute?
What
Well,
are you talking about?
like if you show up at 8 in the morning,
Dude, Topgolf.
you're by
starts
yourself.
at 12. I'm gonna
12
send,
till,
Why are they trying to be difficult?
I don't know, they're doing this on purpose because they know I get scared and.
I'm just wondering when I should block out my schedule so I can get it.
Yeah, is it like an hour thing, a
Like,
2 hour,
like
3
an
hour?
hour and a half.
Like an hour, okay.
Will there be alcohol?
Hour and a half. There's gonna be, we'll have snacks.
Snacks.
Okay.
Perfect, thank you.
Hey,
Thanks for coming, don't trip.
I'm not gonna trip. Hey,
Don't be
Sarah.
tripping.
Hey, Sarah.
Don't be tripping.
Good job, good job.
Yay, get out of here.
You're
Hey Lisa, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Are you ready for your sales meeting of June?
I am.
I'm so ready. So if you're wondering where your broker is,
Is it on the
I wanna
20th
go
or
where
on the
everyone
25th?
is.
that's 6/2025.
Right, so is it on the 20th or the 25th?
Oh, great.
It's on 2025. That's the
2025
year.
is a year.
It's just broken up. It's just broken up, Bill. Are we breaking up?
So is it on the 20th in 25?
No.
Because today ain't the 20th. Yeah, don't tell the broker isn't here. Somebody's screwing around.
So anyway,
Where is our broker?
she's in California at some baseball games, enjoying summer,
Oh,
and she'll be
nice.
back Friday. So she still has her phone on her if you guys have any questions, obviously. Don't call her, call me first.
Okay,
Or, I mean, if it's something, if it's like an admin stuff, we obviously can take care of it, but if it's about a contract, call Leslie for sure.
okay.
So, welcome in. I would like to get started with wants and needs, like if anybody has anything in particular. Listings coming up, buyers coming up that you need help with, or questions you have about the market, because it's really hot right now.
Is
Not the market, the temperature's hot. Just to be clear, the market is, yeah.
What am I missing?
If somebody asks, that's what I tell them. I'm like, yeah, it's super hot right now. And they're like, is it?
Yes,
I
I
haven't
do.
heard that.
can't feel it?
We're up over 90.
Yeah. I get in my car and I'm just like, do I want to really drive to go show this house?
I know.
It's hot. Make sure your AC is turned
The
up.
answer to that question is yes. Yes, I do.
Yes, exactly. So there's a couple wants and needs we have from the broker standpoint. We have this Cornerstone thing. We've gone through it several times, practicing and coaching and getting the whole system made up. Bill's not going to be there because he's skipping the first week apparently. But I can say as a realtor, not only did I help create it, but I'm taking the course itself. So we're gonna have a little bit of a sneak peek today about stuff that we do in Cornerstone to help us become better agents. So if you want more info about that whole program, talk to Leslie, call your broker and say, hey, what's this Cornerstone thing and why do you guys keep talking about it and why is Daniel taking it?
Is there a cost for us to take it?
Yes, so it's a couple different ways to do it. If you could do like a 2-year contract, it's 50% of your first 4 deals, and there's a max to it. So nothing more than 20,000, but you can come for it for the next indefinitely. So once you're signed up for Cornerstone and you want refresher courses and you're like, I'm feeling out of the game, but you need that like pep talk and maybe like refresher skills, come back into Cornerstone and maybe inspire some of the other people, right? So there's gonna be a constant feed of either new kids on the block, right, learn how to be a realtor, and then older agents trying to refine their skills and get better. And so the success stories and being around this group of people is really gonna help not only us as realtors, but the brokers as well thrive and help create some type of education for everybody. Because you get your license and then what? Good luck, right?
So explain that 50%.
So, like, let's say you're on tier 1 or tier 2. So for me, it's 50% of my next 4 deals. So if I charge 3%, it's 50% of whatever I'm bringing in. So if let's say I close a deal at 60,000, or my commission is 60,000, I wouldn't pay over 20,000 and I'd be done. Like I'd be out of that. Like the contract would be fulfilled. So there's a way that it's not.
It caps it.
Yeah, like they're not going to continue to just take 50%. However, there's also not a minimum. Like let's say I do a $100,000 deal. Like I sell a mobile home and I get $3,000. Realty HQ gets 50% of that. They get $1,500. So if I do a couple of those deals, I mean, there is a way that it's not a lot, and there's a way it's a little bit more money, but there had to be some type of like, don't take everything for that. Because some people do higher end deals, like Melissa just recently sold that. Super expensive. Could you imagine paying 50% of that and then 50% of 3 more deals? You'd be like, oh, ain't no way.
So it's either 4 deals or the 20K, whichever comes first.
Yeah,
so I
50% of 4 deals, or the 20K, like you've capped it.
Yeah.
You've already capped or like gotten out of it. I can say, even though I helped create it, I know that taking the course is going to be well worth the 20K for me, just because it's like sitting down, taking the course and like implementing it into my business. So there's 6 weeks and it goes from starting with why. So the first week is about your why and your why contract. So each week you're going to do a contract. You're going to walk away with a business plan, your vision board, your weekly business plan, and then it kind of goes through. There's a why, there's a business or a buyer contract week, a seller contract week, a business plan contract week. Well, that's for like the year, right? Your whole business plan for the year, and then a weekly. They like break it down monthly and weekly, so you know what to do every day. And then the last week is your failure contract, which is kind of apropos, right? Like you're getting ready to like get out of there and it's talking about failure. So it's what to do when you fail. Like you're not hitting your goals, now what, right? It's not when you fail. It's not if you fail, it's when you fail. So if you're not hitting your goals, how do you recover from that? And it's a contract about your family, your accountability partners holding you accountable to that failure contract. And like, if I fail, I do this, or if I fail, I can't do that, or this is the kind of support I need. So it really ties in I would say our support system on helping us succeed in real estate. So I know it's going to be huge for me and my family, and getting them to either A, back off, or B, step into. So it's a way to like kind of bridge that gap about referrals and or not referrals. Like, hey, at least let me refer it out, right? It helps me hit my goals, and it'll also help them whatever, right? So those conversations are going to be super big for us as a company as well, just helping get everybody on the same page. So
who's teaching it? And
it's a different teacher every day of the week. So it's Lacey's teaching like social media innovation. I'm teaching objection handling of each week. So your why contract, you're gonna be like, well, like everyone's gonna have a complaint, right? Or well, my spouse says this, or my girlfriend says that, or whatever. So it's getting that buy-in and helping solidify your whole business plan as a realtor. So this is like a basic, the basic level. They're already working on like an intermediate, like maybe not a Melissa, one, but something where it's like a seasoned agent and we can help those seasoned agents level up, right?
Like more masterclass type.
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah. So this is like the fundamentals, the basics of being a realtor, not just you got your test now, great, go ahead and get out of here. So it's designed, those first 4 deals, it's supposed to kind of be like before tier 1. So if you're in tier 2, some people are like, well, it doesn't make sense, why would you do that? And I'm like, I don't care what you think or say, like I'm in.
So if I hit that $28,000 mark in a deal and a half, it's not 4 deals.
It's
Right.
over, yeah, it's this or this or this or,
Right.
right? So,
Or 2 years or.
yeah, that was my big thing. I'm like, I don't wanna just do it for 50% of 4 deals, cause that could be well over. So they capped it and I was like, okay, then it makes sense to me now, I'll do it.
So basically up to 12,000, up to 20,000.
Up to 20, not more than 20.
Right.
Yep. Yeah, and I don't know if that's how it's worded in the contract, the lawyer's still working on it, but I think, I humbly believe if you're in tier 1 or even tier 2 and you want or need more business, that would be like a surefire way to, I mean, you can pay for a coach or a mentor, which could end up costing you way more than that. And if you could just come to these classes, there's gonna be 6 classes throughout the year, so it's gonna happen every 2 months and it will just restart. So if you're out knocking doors or making cold calls and you're like, this sucks, I need fresh new material, or, you know, maybe you wanna meet somebody else so you can like social climb, right? You wanna climb their social ladder and do social media with them or pick their brain for stuff. You need a new accountability partner because the other one's already quit. So a lot of people in here even are like, well, I don't really relate with anybody that's in here, and maybe our lifestyles don't fit, you know, or whatever. So just getting more people in the door is also gonna help, not just us as realtors, but the brokers as well. So it's kind of it's a dual-sided coin. So anyway, we have the wants and needs. So if you guys have any wants or needs,
And if you know of any like fresh new agents
Mhm.
that really like, as we're going through all of it, I'm like, man, this is really good. Like, maybe I should go. You know what I
she's
mean?
ready. She's ready to get licensed. She's like, let's go.
I'm like, I have all of this material now. Like, I could just see how someone who's newly licensed would really benefit from it.
Yeah.
Because it seems like, from what you guys have told, there's not really, it's kind of like, okay, good luck, you know, once you get your license sort of a thing.
Yeah.
And so this really gives you like a game plan, and it's gonna be really cool. I'm super excited about it.
It's like a blueprint for realtors. Yeah.
So are you guys marketing to some of these real estate schools to try and, you know, get some of their new?
As soon as she has the contract, that's the plan. I don't
Yeah.
wanna like flood the gate and she's like,
Right.
now what, right?
Okay.
Yeah, I love that. I love the fact that you're thinking of that though. That's good. Thank you. So next we have a warm welcome to Sherilyn. Sherilyn.
Oh, she's back.
She's back. Yes.
Buckle up.
So just a huge shout out, right? She's I don't want to say that she's this big deal in real estate, but kind of, she's a wealth of knowledge. I definitely wouldn't be where I am without her. We were both at Realty Path together, and she sat at the front desk, and whenever I had a question or when she was just always there, either pushing me into committees at the board or pushing me to go to some master class, which is kind of what we're doing here. So she's kind of behind Cornerstone in a way because she sent me to these classes and made me a better agent. And then Leslie's like, we need classes. We need to do something, right? And so the whole Cornerstone thing is kind of derived from Sherilyn and her way of thinking a little bit. So a little bit of a soft clap for Sherilyn. And it's built in 2025. For agents in 2025. Some of these older classes that you take are just like re-renderings of somebody else's spinoff, right? So this has a ton of AI into it. It has a ton of all the new upgraded everything. So if you're feeling a little bit behind or slow in today's market, this class could definitely help. And Sherilyn, even though she doesn't know it, had a huge role in it, so.
Is she just coming here to be an agent?
Yes.
Because last time I talked to her, she's like, oh, I'm not really into selling real estate much anymore, blah, blah, blah. I guess she's changed her.
Well, she's here as an agent. She's not doing anything for the company yet. I don't know if she will. She was doing compliance before at Realty Path, right? So I don't know what her, life throws us all kinds of curveballs, so.
Right.
Yeah. a huge warm welcome to her. She just got invited to the Facebook page too, so make sure to reach out to her, tell her congrats, I guess,
Will do.
right? I don't know what else you say to people. Yeah, welcome. Yeah, welcome and congrats. So we have a couple events coming up, and there's one at the very end. So we have a master class next week, same time, or at 11. It's 11.
At 11, yeah.
Meg Monk is going to teach us about staging homes, and how to get more money out of our current listings. We also have this DST, which Melissa knows a little bit about, right? It's another way to silently invest in real estate. If your clients don't want to be like a property manager, they could 1031 exchange it into a DST, right? So whether it's they have water shares or water rights, if they have water rights, or if they're selling a house and they just don't want to do anything with it, they don't want the tax hit though. I would have them ask their CPA about doing a DST, and so we're gonna have a class on that, just as like just one more arrow in your quiver, or one more golden nugget, just depending on how you look at that. So, and then next month, Leslie is teaching the open house masterclass. So, if you've ever wondered how she is so good at what she does, that's when to ask her, right? So about 7 years ago, she taught an open house class, and I built my whole business plan on it, on her open house. So after that, I did 26 open houses. I was just every other week or every week. I was trying to get at least one every other week, and I still have all the leads from it. I averaged about 10 leads an open house. So this is 260 leads, right? And then I made the mistake, I didn't want to go door knock, and I think I could have easily 10x my leads on that if I really got out there and knocked. So the last couple open houses I've done though, it seems like there's 2 or 3 unrepresented buyers. So if you guys are wondering how, or if you want extra leads, I would say go for it. What do you think, Bill? You've done a couple open houses recently, right?
I have,
And any luck?
not really.
Really?
I'm usually doing good to just get 2 or 3 people in my open houses, just neighbors from down the street.
Well, then maybe this is the perfect opportunity, because Leslie did teach me a few things about when you're doing the open house or how to market the open house that might be a little bit different than what we've been taught. And I don't think I do anything special, but it's until someone's like, how are you having that type of success? How is that happening? And it surprises Leslie too. She's like, doesn't everyone know this? I'm like, no, there's things.
She says that a lot.
Yeah. Doesn't everyone know this? She says it all the
Wealth of
time.
knowledge.
My thought is, I hate open houses, they're a big waste of my time. Cause obviously they have been successful.
Yeah, so you have to go into the open house with the intent, and like maybe a little spoiler for Leslie, but you have to go into it saying, what do I want out of it? And then how do I get that? Because if I'm just sitting in the open house, does that work? Or do you lock the door and hang a sign on it and say, call me, I'm right around the corner talking to your neighbors, and you're out knocking doors asking them for a private showing of it. So there's a way to get in front of people, even if you're just sitting there and no one's coming. Go ask them if they want to pick their next neighbor, or if they want to make sure their next neighbor doesn't throw parties like this neighbor, whatever, right? Or maybe they just want out of the neighborhood because it seems like everybody's moving. So once a neighborhood starts to turn, it's like there's one, there's another. Like even in my neighborhood, there's been 2 the last week, one after another, and it's been like just like clockwork. There's about 1 a week in that neighborhood right now,
Did you list?
which is crazy.
Why not?
Bob did one, and Jill Robinson did the other one.
Oh,
So I think both family members are, or they're both related. So
Bob.
Cusick,
Oh.
yeah. So his is under contract, and Jill's will probably be under contract in the next week. So yeah, exciting times. So definitely make sure to come to the masterclass in the open house. And then a huge shout out to the top producers of May.
Congratulations, Daniel.
And skip right over that. We don't need that, right? So it's 6 weeks. It's from 9 to 11. The times have changed a couple different times, but I think 9 to 11 is going to be the most appropriate for everybody. And
So every day for 6 weeks.
exactly.
You said you could be doing this 6 times a year, so
Oof.
you can, pay for it once and keep coming?
Yep, exactly. So if you need that like early morning, get up and get going, the whole class is designed around what you should be doing every day as a realtor. So from 9 to 11, you're either making your calls, going, even their schedule in Cornerstone, it's Monday, you're going over the dreams of things. So you're going over like the past contracts, right? Or Tuesday, you're going over contracts because you're in a multiple offer situation, right? And then Wednesday, you're going over expertise and maybe it's a listing presentation or getting ready, buyers for your upcoming showings, right? And then Thursday, it's about innovation, which is like marketing and lead gen. So now you're marketing your open house, right? And then Friday, your objection handling, which is like, you're taking your buyers out and they're just being crazy like buyers are. Lacey,
Totally.
she
Just going through the class, like, oh my god, what do you say when they say this? And like, how do you handle this, whatever. And
yeah,
so it's just stuff that, like, I don't know, you know what I mean? And then
Yeah.
once it's like presented and kind of like laid out for you, I'm like, oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense, which I think for a new agent would be super helpful.
yeah.
That's
There-
a nice
There
perspective.
is a graduation ceremony at the end. You get a little award.
Not a little
It's not-
one.
I mean, 7 inches.
It's,
Don't.
there's been a lot of thought put into it. It's gonna be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. And it's being refined, so every time will be a little bit different. And it's supposed to focus, which is kind of interesting with how it's laid out, but it should focus on what you need for the next quarter. So
Mhm.
seasons are always changing, right? And if we're training you for winter seasons, we'll probably be doing it in the fall because when you're done with this, that's what you're doing. So if you're like, well, that's the winter market, now what? We'll come back in, refine stuff, right? Because if you haven't been trained on the cycles of real estate, you can't market the same way in winter that you do in the summer, right? Your showings are different, right? You're wearing booties or not booties, and you're asking people to clean up after themselves. Or fall, you're probably bringing a vacuum and checking on the place because there's leaves and the wind picks up, right? So it looks like it's unkept if you're doing those. So just a few different tweaks that we can add to your business plan that can help you look like a more refined.
Where's the
professional.
class? Just here?
Right where you're sitting, just buckle up, buckle in, yep, exactly, so. Next we have Momentum Mondays, which, huge shout out to Lacey, cause she just closed on her house.
Yay! Yesterday.
Oh, you just bought a house?
Uh-huh.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
Where is it?
thank you. Fluffed up.
Nice.
Yep. It's a cute townhome. Super excited. I move in this afternoon, actually. So
Oh, you're gonna be busy.
I am, yes.
Your brother bought movers,
My brother bought movers.
all the family.
He bought them.
Yeah,
No.
yes,
He gifted me some movers for today, so it's
sweet.
gonna be good. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Anybody else have some big wins?
Oh, I have another one.
Oh my god, enough.
Today is my 1-year mark at Realty HQ. June 10th. That's where all began.
I've got a little condo under contract. It's,
Do you?
Oh, nice.
my first downtown,
Oh.
piece of real estate I've sold. You know?
Really?
It's up in the avenues. It's a little condo up in the avenues.
No kidding.
Fun.
So, yeah.
What's a condo HOA fee up there like?
Oh, this one is $430 a month.
Oh
No pool.
What?
no-
What does that cover? Nothing?
Well, okay, it's a historic building. The thing was built in 1909.
Oh,
And it's
wow.
considered a historic building. So probably just keeping this historic building
Like
standing.
standing, yeah. Still though, that is crazy. It's like you're paying for the privilege to live in the avenue.
I think so.
They found out they could get it, so they're charging.
You're like, well, Daybreak's charging, huh?
I mean,
Yeah, but you
no,
get a
I
lot
mean,
more
I mean,
dating.
it's you know, it's a hallway into your condo, you know, so I mean, it's gotta be
Okay.
kept clean up. And then there's this cute little courtyard right out
Oh,
in
cute.
front of
Okay.
the building. It's this cute, quaint little courtyard. Other than that, I have no idea.
What's it called? The
It's called, crap.
Ooh, and they're charging 400 for
crap.
Wow.
I
Piece
can't
of
remember what
crap.
it's called.
Is it crappy?
It's crappy, yeah. I can't remember, yeah.
That's cool.
That's exciting.
Well done.
I was working on a contract yesterday for a condo in Saratoga.
Oh,
Whoa.
nice.
Good deal. I
New
I
build?
saw those a couple years ago.
New build?
Oh, I know what you're talking
Move-in
about.
ready.
Dang, that's cool.
Is it new construction or is it, okay.
Those
That's
are
fun.
quick.
Yeah.
Dang, that's
I did
awesome.
one of those 2 years ago. How much are those going for now?
Our contract price is $333.9, but some of them are around $350.
Right, okay. Mine's sold.
6% concessions.
Okay, that's good.
Whoa.
Yes.
Plus the 3% BAC.
Mm-hmm.
Builders are
Whoa.
doing some really good concessions
It's
right now.
about time.
But,
I mean, they're out there, but
yeah,
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Are you working with Taylor on that, or is he not part of that?
No, because my niece just walked in and the agent that was there, and so she's like, "Are you working with anybody?" I'm like, "Well, I've done deals with Edge agents in the past, and I brought Taylor up."
Yeah.
And she was like, so I asked her later, I'm like, "So are we looping Taylor in on this?" And she's like, "No, because they just walked in." So I was just
Yeah.
happy she called me.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Well, my niece was like, "Yeah, we have an agent. Call her up." I was like, "What do you think?"
Okay, don't call me.
Yeah.
You trained her well.
Yeah.
I learned that too.
learned that.
As have I. I'm like, oh, that's a thing.
Is
That's
that-
another thing, Cornerstone.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Whoops.
There's several things that it's like the growing pains of being a realtor, like all those little things that we learn by accident because you're not taught that in school, right?
Mhm.
Mhm.
So I would say it's nothing out of pocket, which is part of what I love about being here is we're not charged monthly fees. Like it's just part of the business plan, right? And so part of what they're teaching in Cornerstone is how to like budget yourself. Like don't pay yourself huge lump sums, right? Like portion everything out. And it's like about making a really good budget market. It's gonna be a game changer, even for me, and I love it, so. Next we have agent master taught classes. Apparently Melissa's gonna be teaching another I'm just kidding.
She's like,
"Don't you dare." Yeah, I think everyone has a little bit of something to offer, and I'm kind of wondering about Bill, because Bill's been in the industry for
2 weeks.
a long time.
Mhm.
You've been in the mortgage side of things,
Yep.
and now you're in the real estate side of things, and I'm just wondering, I'm sure you have like all this knowledge that none of us have, that could just help all of us.
My ex told me I was full of it.
Perfect, get her
There
out
you
there
go.
and she can teach it then. I'm just kidding.
Full of knowledge.
Yeah,
Oh, that's what she meant.
That's what
Okay.
she
full of knowledge, yeah.
For sure.
So, I don't know, just anything and everything, anytime we can get other people up here teaching is gonna be so crucial. I know Sherilyn's crazy with compliance and crazy in a good way. I know
Is
like,
she gonna be doing complaints here or?
no, but she would have certain things that like, these are things you're always missing, like people are always missing, which can help you look like a better agent, not asking your clients to sign something again because you forgot, like, there's a mindset when you're doing compliance that it's like, you just look at the contract a little bit different than an agent does, right? So maybe getting in maybe not in Sherilyn's mind, but in the compliance mind
Right.
would be super crucial, so.
They've got to be so detail oriented, because they catch things it's like, oh,
How did
okay.
you find that?
Well, they have one job, right? And that's to find what you didn't put in there,
Mhm.
or how that affects what, and it's really the diligence part of having the brokerage, right? So,
But one of the nice things that we had at Realty Path was that checklist. There was a buyer packet, there was a seller packet,
yeah.
and there was a checklist.
Mhm.
And there was also a page in theirs that you would go ahead and put everybody that's involved in that deal and what capacity, you know, the title company, blah, 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 their name, their phone number, that whole contact sheet, instead of pulling up 15 sheets of paper to try and find it, it was all just on that one sheet of paper. And when you're doing the deal, when you have that offer accepted,
Yeah.
that's the time to fill all that stuff out. You only have to do it one time, and you have access to it forever. That, to me, was extremely,
Game changer. Yeah.
so.
So it seems like everyone's gone away from that. I mean, I can create that if you want something like that.
The checklist for me, and it's just probably my personality, it's like, you do this, you do this, you do this.
Yeah.
When you're doing this, you have to have this and this.
Yeah,
And then, now, it isn't gonna apply to every single deal,
yeah,
but for the most part, this is a checklist you probably ought to follow. And if you're doing that, you're going to look smarter. You're not going to look like, you've missed anything.
Yeah,
Just organized.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I mean, I'm constantly asking Amy, okay, well, what, because I haven't done this for a while, do
Yeah.
I need this?
yeah,
And that checklist would answer all of that. And yeah, I probably could have created it myself, but I just liked what they had.
yeah,
I certainly, checklists are huge. I certainly utilize just the checklist through SkySlope.
Yeah.
You know, it's like,
I was
oh,
gonna say, is
what-
that what that is?
What, I need to work on getting this document
yeah.
I dealt with and,
Yep.
you know,
So the cool thing is they're switching to Brokerment, or they're at least in the process of switching to
I'm kind of
Brokerment.
sad.
I was kind of sad until I got in there and started playing around. There's a buyer packet or a seller packet that you just upload the information to, and it has all the documents you need. And it's pre-populated, like all the signatures are already on there for everywhere you go. So it's kind of like using SkySlope Forms in a way, if you've used SkySlope Forms, SkySlope Forms helps a ton, right?
Yeah.
It's similar to that, but it doesn't. Brokerment, we can add packets, like we can create it for the whole brokerage, which I think we can do in SkySlope. But every time I tried it was like, now I have to share it with everyone individually, and then it's just a headache. Whereas Brokerment, it's like all in one, and it can just be up there for everybody. So it's very intuitive. It's so good, it kind of hurts sometimes because it's mapped out for everybody. It's mapped out for buyers and sellers. So you have to like delete the buyer, like 2 buyers or 2 sellers, but it's mapped out if you're doing a dual contract, right? You could just have it all already done. So goods and bads, I think that's probably what everything.
Does it have some good tech support? Because I'm gonna tell you, I am so awkward and it takes me forever to learn
Does it?
a new program and
Yeah.
stuff, so
So their tech support is good and fast. However, I think it's probably gonna be easier to contact me or Lacey for whatever you need. And that's why Lacey is here actually, to help with
I
questions
mean,
like
do they
that.
have like chat text from you can still
You have
chat
that
and
purpose.
they'll
Yep.
hopefully.
Yes, Lacey, that's
I'm like,
right.
Are you sure? No, I've been in Brokerment and messing around with it too.
Mhm.
And it is, from what I can tell so far, super user friendly. So there's still a few little things, like we're basically there. Like
Yeah.
we're almost ready to launch it.
The accounting side, which is actually part of why we went to Brokerment, because I don't know if you guys have noticed, in SkySlope, it takes a while to get paid. Sometimes, and it's like, it's just their back end and it's excuse after excuse. Anyway, Brokerment was a way to get us paid faster and more accurately without discrepancies. Like everything's pre-populated and pre-generated, and it's a math equation, right? Like this minus this. If my calculator can do it, your program should be able to do it fairly simple and fast. So
So,
that's part of it.
so that's gonna be kind of the norm around here real shortly.
Yeah,
So
yep.
I'm probably doing my last deal right now in SkySlope.
Well, it just depends. I think we have until August, she said. But we'd like to transfer people over sooner so we can get everyone up to speed, right? And it sounds like, I mean, she's been recruiting, Leslie's been recruiting, and she has a ton of people in her pipeline. And depending on if and when or how, the brokerage could double, triple, just depending, like it could be a big change and quick. So, Brokerment, them scaling to Brokerment's nationwide. And SkySlope's very Utah based. There's a lot of people that use it in Utah, but not outside of Utah. So, Leslie's got her sights on like bigger things, which would help us long term too as a brokerage, right? We're not just a boutique brokerage, which is, it's good and bad, right? So if we stay with Leslie, I think it'll always kind of feel boutique-y because that's her personality. And then all these other brokerage or other locations will kind of have that like more corporate feel probably.
It was very sweet. She came out to my open house on Saturday.
Yeah,
You did, Leslie did?
nice.
Oh, cool.
So did that worm branch just get opened up?
It did, yep. So Jake officially got his, you'll see it on the MLS now, that has his, it's not a location yet, like he doesn't have a physical location yet, so. The company itself has a limit or a stand, like you have to get so many agents before they'll open like a physical location.
Right.
So Jake's working on that right now too, so he's actually out recruiting. He was supposed to be here today doing this. He's like, I'm actually gonna go to this event and recruit, and I was like, get out of here, go. Like I can do this is easy, so.
Is Realty HQ, is it a franchise or?
Not yet. I think in time it will be. They've talked about it, but not yet.
Okay, 'cause it seems like I've seen Realty HQ online that's not this.
That's interesting. I mean,
So,
technically, I think there's other Realty HQs, and I think that's why theirs was Realty HQ USA, and that's like the website, your emails, everything is that. Yeah, even on YouTube and Instagram, like there's other Realty HQs. So I think that's why she had like the USA put on the end of it, because she also wants to be in all 50 states, right?
mhm.
So she's like, it's not like a very local thing. I want this to be way bigger. So, and other boutique brokerages here in Utah have had that vision, and they've been open for 10, 15 years, and they're still just here in Utah. So I think she's doing something a little bit different to gather in interest from people out of state even are calling her about opening in their state. And she's like, yeah, so interesting, fun, and that's just kind of cool to be a part of. So a huge shout out to our vendors, our preferred vendors. I've done a couple inspections now with Win Home Inspections. Can't complain. I could complain, but I won't. I think there's so many different nuances with inspectors. I don't know if you guys have used more than one, but
I'd like to invite you to try Vincent Home Inspections.
I have tried Vincent Home Inspections.
Oh, have you?
Yep,
Okay.
yep. Me and Amy were doing a deal out in I think West Valley, Paget, the
Okay,
Pagets. Yeah, so I tried to
so it
get.
must have been Amy that ordered it, so.
Yeah, yep,
Cause that usually what takes you,
yeah, it was Amy.
the orders and.
Yeah,
I've used them a couple times, they're awesome.
yeah. So, yeah, I think it just kind of depends. I try to give everybody their shot. Like I've used probably 20 different title companies. There was like, why are you using us? It's like, well, there's enough to go around, right?
I've got my
There's-
title lady I have been using since day one.
Really?
11 years.
Dang, and see, there's so many nuances and so, like, they all offer something a little bit different because they're all trying to like capture this thing. So I usually go with whatever's closer for my client.
Mhm.
So it just kind of depends. Or I go with Mindy because she just kills it at title. So huge shout out to our vendors over there. They're a big part of how and why we do what we do. So, and then this is the staging one. This is next week. So I just wanted to give a little end of the thing to Meg. She'll be here next week. She's also a realtor here with us, and she has talked about. I don't know if you guys have talked to her about helping like be a co-agent or helping stage a house and being part of your transaction. So she is very creative, and I'm sure if you guys use your thinking caps that you could tie her into a deal and get her paid within that deal to help both of you, right? Whether it's, sometimes they'll do, I don't know if Meg does it, but like a consultation to like stage what they have in their house without bringing more stuff in to make it feel more warm and inviting. I've used people like Meg in the past to be the bad guy. Like come in and tell them to take everything down because I don't want to hurt their feelings. So it's an easy way for me to look like I'm paying for an expert and to come tell them how to do and what to do, right?
I do that with listings. I offer a staging consultation,
Yeah,
and I've got a lady that I said, but gosh, I'd definitely be willing to try Meg out.
same thing, yeah. And Meg, oh man, she has this unique style, but man, she's really good at what she does. So she also works with Set the Stage, which is a staging company, and I think that's why she came up with this whole
Mm.
Ultimate Guide thing. So I did want to give you guys a sneak peek into Cornerstone a little bit and kind of what we're gonna do inside that. If you guys have, I mean, if you guys want to stay, if not, that's like what we have for sales meeting. However, I do have some,
I got 20 minutes.
yeah, maybe some insider tips and tricks. So this is just one thing that we've done in Cornerstone over the last, I'd say 3 months that we've been working on it, is stuff like this. So when your clients are asking what's going on in the market, and let's say you haven't bought or sold anything in a month, and you're like, well, I don't know. So you're asking online, like, what are we seeing in contracts? How do I know what to ask for? So there is a creative way to find out what that looks like. And part of it is looking at days on market. However, I wanna show you how you guys can do it yourself, so.
Where were you just on, was that on the main page?
Yeah,
Okay.
This is the main page
Yeah.
that talks about high and low, right, or list and
Right.
sold prices.
Yeah.
However, I want to show you guys, so I want Bill to come up with, we're gonna do this at random, like I did not have this, so I want Bill to come up with the property type that we're gonna look for. I want Lisa to come up with the price range, and I want Melissa to come up with the city.
Duplex.
Duplex? Okay.
So we're going, more commercial then? Or
Well, duplex
multi-
is still residential,
well,
right?
Multi-unit,
Yep, duplex, okay, price range?
between, 550 and 650.
Ooh, okay, 550, 650.
Or a duplex, okay.
City?
West Valley.
Well, there's only 30 sold in the last year, so
Right, that's why I'm
maybe
gonna
look at that.
think, I was gonna say West Valley, but no, maybe put, Tooele.
Twilla.
And that's probably, the 30 is probably because of the price.
Yeah,
0.
so let's see if we can get rid of this and maybe bring it up.
To 700
One.
maybe.
Okay, Bill, let's stick just residential, let's make this a little bit
Yeah,
easier.
we're gonna have Bill pick, but we don't,
Wait,
we don't want one.
Bill, one of these property types.
I can't see a single thing that's on that,
Single family, twin, condo, townhouse, or recreational.
single family.
Okay, and we're still 550, I'm still gonna use yours, 550 to 650. And then what, city, you still wanna be in Twilla?
Oh, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter now?
Go to White
Yeah, stay in Tooele.
Russian roulette, huh? Cool. Twilla. Okay, well, this is not what I was planning, but I love it, I like how this panned out, so. Let's say that that's where your buyer was looking, right? They're like, I want a single family in Twilla in this price range. So that's kind of how I wanted you guys to come up with it, like you're my buyer. But when we look at this, I can tell you, so yesterday we were doing it with 10. I think to get a really good average, you need 100 if you wanted to go through and find 100. Or you can just find 10 and say that that's your average or your numbers. So when we go through oh, that's active too. That's gonna change everything, huh? The way to do it would be to look at sold, and then we're gonna go through and look at concessions and sold price versus list price. So if you wanna get even more detailed, you can say within the last 90 days, right? Cause that's what the market's kind of shifting with. Let's do that too, just to give you a better. And Twilla's small anyway, but let's do this real quick. Not that one. Agent full report. And then in here, we're gonna look at concessions.
17.5.
So we're gonna add up all the concessions and then divide by 7. So that you can say, okay, here's my buyer pool, here's what they've been offering, so 17.5, 9,000.
So what's the question we're answering again?
What are people asking for as far as concessions and
Okay.
offers?
So when you are with your buyers, you can say, well, I pulled all the stats and over the last 100 houses that have sold in the last 90 days, this has been the average. So if you look at all the averages, like average days on market, average concessions, average list of sold price,
You really wanna do 100? And you're gonna take 100 listings and their concessions and add them up?
So,
There's gotta be a better way.
Melissa,
Daniel?
when coming up with stats, normally they say, that you need 100, like you need to pull 100 to have like a good stat or a good pull,
Right.
to come up with that number. If you're only pulling 7, but if you only have 7 to pull from, then you go from that, right? If there is 100, you could, but I
I know.
can tell you once you get to 20, you're like, okay, I'm just gonna times by 5 and divide by 100.
Seeing a pattern.
Yeah.
So you're gonna get a really good understanding of the market and whatever the last 90 days is. So if there's 7, use 7. If there's 20, just add up the 20 and then divide by 20 to get your average,
So
right?
this is kind of an average amount that people are asking for concessions from sellers. I
Yep,
guess that's what we need to educate our sellers on too. Hey, expect this.
absolutely. Yeah. So it doesn't matter if you're on the buy side or sell side, but
Or you can look for the high and the low and then see how many kind of are in between. and just go, right around this
So-
area.
so that
What do you guys, what do you wanna ask?
That would be the median, right? So the
Right,
median would get like the high and the low, and then you're chopping it, and then all of a sudden you're here.
yeah,
And that's why sometimes the median is lower than the average, because the average is dividing by it. So it's like counting the multi-million-dollar homes and then saying the average home in Utah is selling for $660, and it's like, whoa.
well, yeah, because if you look at these two listings, like that is a newer home compared to the first one you just saw.
Right,
So the amount that they're gonna be willing to give is,
could be different, yeah. Or maybe not what they're willing to give, but what
Well-
somebody's asking for is like, well,
Right.
we just wanna sell the house, so give it to them, I guess, you know?
right,
So even in 2, we're at 26.5, we're almost averaging, 14, 13, yeah.
13,250 actually.
0 is the next one, so we're even lower, and then we're up to 10. So, you guys get where I'm going with this though, right?
Mhm.
This one was 25,
Ooh.
that's a new construction, so keep that in mind as well, right? 17.5 plus 17. Plus 5. And now 7, so now we're gonna divide by 7. 12,000.
12,000.
And you can see that there's some that are way more and some that were a lot less, right? So
Mhm.
just a really good way. Another way though would be to pull this number right here, 84074. And instead of trying to add everything up, go back to the home page and put that number in here, 84074. And then you can choose whether it's a duplex or not, right? You can go multi-unit, bill, or residential. And go with average or median. I would stick with the average. I think that's probably the best way to do it. But you can see that the list price and the sell price
They're
are,
about the same,
I mean, it's $1 off,
right?
right?
$10.
I was
Average,
gonna say.
average, yeah. So also average days are 56 days on market. That's off of 66 sales, which is kind of rough. But
That's
keep
true.
that in mind for your sellers and your buyers, right? If it's the first week, maybe don't, right?
Don't,
Maybe don't offer right away, because the average one's gonna sell in 56 days. If it's not the average home though, and if it's newer and nicer, it's like, this isn't gonna last, we need to be ready for that. And those concessions might change too, because it's also not the average.
mhm,
So maybe it's like we're going half the average and we're giving them full price, maybe, right?
mhm.
So just something to look at, and then if you wanted, you could also look at your price range. So this list of sold price here, it listed at $595, it sold for more. It listed at $645, it sold for less, sold for less, sold for more, sold for less, sold for more, right? So,
Those concessions that, you're averaging, my experience and from what I've seen is if I'm going to be giving you a $15,000 concession, probably bumping the price.
Mhm.
in the past, I agree.
Right,
In the past, I would 100% agree with that, because we're gonna have an appraisal waiver, they're okay with the payment.
Well, I'm talking about, I'm gonna offer over and
right.
then I'm gonna ask.
And you can do that even in today's market.
So if I've gone $10,000 over and I've asked for 15, that 15 is really 5.
Here's the scary part though, from a buyer and a seller standpoint.
Praise.
Yeah, Melissa's right on track, right? They still have to appraise, so I could give you
Right,
$1
right,
million,
right.
and if my contract's for contingent on appraisal, and it comes in at 300K,
Right, I get that, but I mean, in your example of looking at the sold price and the concessions,
yeah,
well, that may not have been realistic numbers because the price of the house may have increased over in order to be able to give that
Like that
concession.
first one, they.
like this one, they asked 17.5, and then it sold for more.
Yeah.
Yeah?
So
Yeah,
it's
I
not
mean,
really 17.5 if you take what was asked. I
Yeah.
can't see the numbers there, so is it really
Sold at
17.5?
601.
17.5 in concessions, and they offered 6,000 over asking,
So
like
you're looking at
12,000.
11,000, yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, and now we're right back to that average of 12
Mhm.
without going over, and if our list price and sell price is dead even,
Right.
I mean, the numbers are telling us that, yep, that's okay. And as a seller, I could say, okay, well, we need them to come up. The average concession is 12 and they're asking for 17,000, I need you to come up 6. It's a really good way to combat and have like the proof. If you go to the buyer's agent and they're like, no way, and I'm like, well, this is what the market's doing. And then they can look like the expert when they go to talk to their buyer. However, we're also seeing in some areas that they don't care. They're like, I want 20,000 less, I want 20,000 in closing, and you're paying my agent. And I want all the repairs made. And then, it's like, what? Excuse me? Yeah,
Yeah.
the difference is the interest
You
rate,
can
right?
want and one ain't one.
Yep.
My
Exactly.
husband says that all the time.
I know, I've said that to my kids before, they're like,
What
what
are you
does that
talking
even mean?
What are you talking about? Yeah.
You're nasty.
The one that would fill up first is the want, because that's all they do is want. Just kidding.
That's fair. Yeah.
I'm just kidding, my kids are.
So that's just one of the things that I think is a value that we just went over in Cornerstone. I mean, there's something, sometimes multiple times a day, and I'm like, why have I not been taught this, told this, or come up with this? Like, this is just
Right,
nuggets, right?
Yeah, it's very good,
So-
information and knowledge.
Yeah, so stuff to think about.
That way, everything's data-based, you know?
Yeah,
And that makes you look more competent.
yeah. And I made a big push for not using paper or printing stuff out, which I think is hard for a lot of people. They're like, I want the checklist, I want it in front of me. Well, a checklist I could laminate and have it every time.
I want it as a fillable PDF file on my computer.
Thank you, Bill.
That's all I want.
Heard it
Yes.
here.
You heard it here first. The idea is, if I can do it from your phone and I don't have to print it out, you're working from your phone anyway, or your laptop all the time,
I'm not gonna
right?
print out. For the open house, I'm printing out, stuff, but other than that,
Yeah. See,
Well,
I
you
don't
even
even,
had a QR code too, didn't you?
I got a QR code for my sign-in sheet.
Yeah.
So they come in and they sign in, then they're entered into a $25 drawing, which, by the way, if anybody else wants to get in on that, it doesn't say everybody who came to this house is at, I had one person show up, they're not getting a $25 gift certificate.
yeah,
I'm giving it away once a month, and if I got 10 agents involved, we'll throw their names in there,
love it.
and we're giving away one $25 or $50, and we all split it. So
We,
it costs us all,
oh, I see, okay.
all $5 or something.
That's smart, I like that idea.
So,
Yeah.
but the QR code, they're very, very easy to create, and I just have it on a stand-up, and they scan it, and you'll create yours for you, but mine, what it does is it'll put it into a Excel CVS file, so I can upload that right into,
It's super easy to store
Yep.
everyone. You don't have to like read handwriting, all of
Yeah.
that.
And the
Yeah.
reason why they'll scan it is because they got a gift certificate.
Yeah.
There's incentive.
How do you and I share that? Do I send you all my leads?
No, you create your own. What's gonna happen is, we'll do one of those
Spinner,
spinner thingies, and you'll just give me John,
their names.
yeah.
Just their first name or
just
something?
Their first name, and
Okay.
these came from you,
Yeah,
and,
yeah,
then we'll just do it once a month.
yeah. Just a meetup or like, what's the logistics of that?
However, I would think after your open house, send me the names,
Yeah,
and I'll just put them all in the spinner thingy, because it can be 10 or 100 names in there, and
Mm-hmm.
spin it and boom.
yeah.
So it's also an excuse for you to call them and say, hey, yeah, sorry, you didn't win.
Didn't work out.
I
However,
wonder, just depending on how much traffic you're getting, maybe up that and see if you get more traffic, or up it once, right?
What do you mean?
Bless you.
excuse me.
Well, it's just when you come into my open house, there's
Yeah.
a stand up there along with everything else, and I ask them to sign in. And they scan it, and it just says Realty HQ, and so yours would be the exact same thing.
And then it
It
automatically
just would go
enters
to
them
you.
and.
Gotcha. I was just thinking instead of $25, maybe that's not incentive enough to.
Well, yeah, and 25, 50, 100, I don't care, but if we get 10 agents and it's $100, it's
Yeah.
$10 a piece.
Oh,
And
I
we
was
do it once a
thinking,
month.
I was thinking like $1,000.
Yeah, no, not right now. I don't,
I mean, depending on your leads, right?
also depending on how many agents are
I was just
involved.
gonna say, yeah.
Right, and if you're knocking though, and it's like, hey, come, we're doing $1,000 giveaway, and they're like, what? Or $1,000 gift card, whatever, right? How many more are they likely to send or?
Well, if it's $1,000, maybe it's quarterly,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. Something, right? Like the bigger the take, the more.
Maybe it's twice a year. If it's $1,000.
Yeah, they don't know that they didn't win. You might as well say it's 10 grand. I'm just kidding, don't.
Don't say
There
that.
is a way to get more leads, just depending on how you wanna do it, so, if the $25 isn't doing it, try something else. Yeah. Melissa got a new ring. That's pretty,
Thanks.
yeah.
25 years.
Damn it!
Aw,
That wasn't your moment,
I was
that
just
wasn't your
just
success?
did.
What the
Wait,
heck?
Melissa?
Unbelievable.
Still borderline on that.
I've been married for 25 years, guys.
Dang, and look, the proof is on her finger.
Dang.
Thank you.
What'd you do with the other one?
It's at home.
It's a
I
heirloom,
need
duh.
to see that
Yeah,
up close.
dang, yeah, good call.
Gorgeous.
Yeah. Sweet, so, anything else? Anybody have wants or needs or maybe a big surprise on your finger? I'm just kidding. It's been like shining at me all day and I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to say something.
Oh,
Yeah.
thanks.
Yeah, that's a huge success, right? Some people don't
Yeah,
even make it.
neither of my parents were ever married as long as I have been,
Really?
so. it's-
Oh, that's gotta be really kind of surreal. Yeah.
I tell them once in a while, yeah.
Did you do anything fun for it or besides Iceland last year?
No.
No.
I went to Wade's hockey game.
Wait, talking, that's a commitment right there, all in of itself. So he had ice and you got more ice. Nice.
Just different.
Yeah.
I was able to come home from taking care of my dad.
Yeah, that's always a bonus, right?
Yeah.
And that be able to take care of, right? Which is always its own thing, so, yeah. Cool. Anything else? Nothing? You got nothing?
I don't think so.
Just a whole bunch
Just
of,
come back next week for
Thanks.
next class and
Thanks
Yeah.
for good information.
of course,
take a
always.
bagel on your way out.
Whatever, we know you're good. Freaking punk. You're gonna make the whole room cry.
No,
Yeah.
nobody has to look at me.
Oh. Don't
There's
have
some
to.
space.
Okay.
Tell us something wonderful about your dad.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Oh
love
my
that.
gosh.